Hello everyone, my name is HorizonFear and this is my Armor of Thorns almost all bosses challenge run. First, let's go over the rules. The rules are simple. Rule number 1, I am not allowed to use any weapons, so any damage that I do must come from rolling into an enemy with the Armor of Thorns. Rule number 2, shields are off limit, so I am not allowed to block with a shield. However, I am allowed to use things like the Skull Lantern, which I do use once to find my way to the Tomb of the Giants later in the run. Rule number 3, no glitches or exploits to kill bosses, or to get to difficult sections. Alright, with that out of the way, here's my journey on how I almost beat the Armor of Thorns All Bosses Challenge run. My run started with my pre-made character called Roly Poly, which off-screen I gave the Armor of Thorns via cheat engine. I opened my cell door and tested out my damage potential. Now let's see how much damage this is gonna do here. I was very surprised. To show my dominance, I killed the remaining instant hollows, climbed the ladder, and 420 my first bonfire. And then we got to our first real test of strength. Not bad? Indeed, not bad. Not bad at all. But don't you worry, we'll get to the bad part very soon. So after that surprisingly smooth fight, I dodged an arrow, dodged a boulder, killed a man, and stole his belongings. And so that wraps up the asylum, for now, and we're off to Lordran. After my arrival, I went down to Newlander Ruins, opened the gate to the Valley of Drakes, and went up the elevator. I killed a crystal lizard for some twinkling titanites, said hello to Andre, grabbed the Firekeeper's soul, and went back down to Firelink Shrine to continue my journey. Through the Undead Burg, not much happened. I ran past everything, almost got crushed by a dragon, and rested at the bonfire. I ran past some more enemies, and killed another crystal lizard before entering the boss. Taurus was easy. What a surprise. I killed the 2 archers, and lured the Taurus off his tower by stepping over his boundary. Dodge, roll, dodge, roll, dodge some more, and a few more rolls to finish him off. After that, I made conversation with Solaire.
I am Solaire of Astora.
Used the shortcut to the bonfire, rolled into the merchant until he submitted, and made my way through the undead parish back to Andre. Before going to the gargoyles, I leveled myself up and got pancaked by a giant knight. After that fiasco, I found myself running to a cultist wet dream, and then I fought the gargoyles. It didn't go so well. Feeling defeated and quite annoyed for the fact that I was slow rolling, I decided to kill Havel first and get his ring. This was my first real look at things to come. But I prevailed, cause on my second attempt I gave him the good old roly poly for 8 straight minutes until he gave his ring out of sheer pity. Back through Darkroot with my new ring of power, I gave the gargoyles the beating they deserved. There you go. And so I rang the first bell. Bought me some purging stones for later, and made my way to the Moonlight Butterfly. This didn't go so well, because apparently the Moonlight Butterfly actually heals itself when she comes down to have a snack. This isn't noticeable normally, but with the damage I do combined with the low health and low amount of Estus, this boss has to wait. There you go. But don't worry, we'll be back for you. Instead, we go to the Capra Demon. After a short stroll to the lower end of Berg, the capper goes down without too much of a problem. There you go. Before heading into the depths, I opened up the shortcut to Firelink and got myself the glorious Fap Ring. Back to the depths, I killed the channeler and came across an imposter. I found him pretty sus, so I killed him. I continue, and I fought my first endurance test. So, I do what I do best. Roll, dodge, get eaten, roll some more, and after a fair 15 minutes, the beast goes down. Woo! There he goes. It's only gonna get harder from here on out. So I went back to Firelink, down to Nylander Ruins, and entered. To be fair, I was afraid of Quelaag. And yes, she has a lot of HP. But after another 15-minute long fight, the Daughter of Chaos goes down. There you go. Woo! I rang the second bell, and I had an audience with the Fair Lady. I went to the Demon Ruins, entered the Foggate, I stole some clothes, and left poor Ceaseless to his doom. I said I led him to his doom. I said I led him to his doom. So after dying over and over again, I found out that you have to go back to where he picked up the clothes, wait for him, and then run back to trigger his jump attack. So with my new knowledge, I finally led him to his doom. Back at Firelink, I took a quick detour and went to the catacombs to pick up the Dark Moon Seance ring. And I totally didn't forget the location of the ring. After finding the ring, Pinwheel was my next target. He went down pretty quickly. Now with the Rite of Kindling in the pocket, I homeward boned myself back to the surface. The next step should be to go to Sen's Fortress, but I remembered that there was one more area that I could clear out before Sen's. So I took another detour and went back to the asylum. I grabbed the doll and I fought a stray demon. This guy had a lot of HP. One failed attempt and some tears later, I slayed the beast after a long 20-minute fight. Woo! Back to Lordran. I went back to Andre and upgraded one of my armor pieces to +4. Ready for Sen's Fortress. I have to say, I felt good about going to Sen's. How hard could this challenge run really get? Oh, you just wait. We lit the bonfire, and now it was time to give Iron Golem a beating. Oh, I forgot the giant on top. No worries, I just kill Iron Golem on the bridge. Alright, let's kill the giant. And now we have enough room so I won't fight. What the fuck was that? Wow. Alright, third time's the charm. And it sure is. After 16 minutes, the old Betsy is no more. There you go. One hit away. Alright. Ah, and Orlando. Home of the gods. I was afraid of the path ahead. Deadly Falls, the Archers, and a notorious duo. But I had to move on. So I did. First, the Rafters. I died a few times. But on my third try, I made it through. Not too difficult. Second, the Archers. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I am happy. Before I took on the duo, I made my way to the blacksmith and upgraded some more. I opened the giant door, and then it was time for Ornstein and Smo. I had no real strategy in mind going into this fight, so I started doing what I do in every fight. I roll, and dodge, and roll some more. Then I noticed Smaug taking more damage than Ornstein for some reason, so I did the most logical thing. I went after Smaug instead. But half of the time, Mr. Thunder Thighs here blocked most of my screen, so I couldn't see Ornstein. Then I died. This is gonna be a hard fight, isn't it? But praise the sun, because on my second attempt, after a furious 22 minutes, the notorious duo were no more. Let's fucking go! Ugh! After a small celebration, I went upstairs and received my reward from Mummy Milkers. I upgraded my armor further. I went back to Firelink. Back in Firelink, I used some of my souls and leveled myself up. At this point, I wanted to do the first step of the DLC. Kill the Hydra in Darkroot. This Hydra was a big problem. All of its heads are reachable except for one. This head right here. When the Hydra attacked, this head was in the water, so I couldn't reach it. This was a problem. But then I noticed this little slope on the right. It was clipping through the wall sometimes. What if I timed my rolls perfectly so I might hit it when it clipped through? That would be perfect, right? Well, yes and no. You see, I rarely actually hit its head. And when I had somewhat of a streak going, I died. So, going back, I tried a new strategy. When I was standing on a slope, I noticed that the Hydra was hitting the beach close to my location. With this new knowledge, I learned ahead to hit close to the slope and rolled into it. After a long and tedious battle, the Hydra went down. Back at Firelink, I talked to the... Well, no problem. I'll just jump in. I placed the Lord Vessel, went back up, talked to Fremd, and... yeah. Fremd just dipped. Not sure why, but let's continue. Now it was time to go back to a yet undefeated boss, the Moonlight Butterfly. I came back stronger, with more health and more Estus. The battle was long, but after 15 minutes of dodging its attacks, I slowly chipped its health bar away. There you go! There she goes. Another boss defeated. Sif was up next. And there's not much to say about this fight. It wasn't too bad at all. Staying underneath Sif at all times dodges pretty much all of its attacks. And after a short 10-minute fight, I defeated the doggo. There you go. Back at Anolondo, I had some more optional bosses to take care of. So I went to the painting. Once in the painting, I quickly traversed the ruins and opened my way up to Priscilla. Now Priscilla was an interesting boss for sure. At the beginning of the fight, Priscilla becomes invisible. And the only way to make her visible again is to stagger her out of it. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't stagger her. At all. So I had to kill her while she was invisible. Luckily, she isn't too hard. Even when invisible, I could easily get around her attacks. Oh god. Most of the time. After 50 minutes of rolling into thin air, I took the plunge back to the real world. Now it was time to kill Gwendolyn. This fight got me scared for a little bit. His magic could one-shot me, and if I even got a hit in, it wasn't a lot of damage. So this was a battle of endurance. I followed Gwendolyn for 7 minutes straight until we got to the end of the hallway. He kinda breaks at this point. He will only do magic attacks and never move away from you. In the end, this was an easy win. There you go. Woo!
An eternal curse upon
Yeah. Back to Darkroot. I killed the Golden Golem and freed Dusk, cause I totally forgot doing that. It was time to head to the archives, and oh, right, you are hostile now. No matter. I killed the Firekeeper, I got myself another Firekeeper soul. I reached the archives, killed the Crystal Golem for the pendant, and said hi to Seath. There you go. Did I just get cursed? Time for revenge. This fight took a while, mainly consisting of running back and forth and almost dying a few times. I'm not getting cursed. No! Oh god, this is really bad. Oh my god. Dude, that was extremely close. After 20 minutes, I defeated the Scaleless Dragon. That's safe. It was time for some DLC. I know, this run is all over the place. Sanctuary Guardian wasn't too bad. My main goal in this fight was to cut off his tail. Getting poisoned in this fight was a death sentence. This boss was harder than I originally thought, but with some perseverance, the kitty cat was slain. Let's fucking go! Ugh! Sit the fuck down, you piece of crap. Oh my god. Continuing the DLC, I wanted to give Artorias a try. I'll come back later. Time for Demon Runes. After killing the giant worm to unlock the bonfire, the Demon Fire Sage was next on my list. This boss, as expected, took a long time, but it wasn't hard. 15 minutes of continuous rolling, the Fire Sage went down without too much of a problem. Now, we get to possibly the most chaotic fight in the run. Centipede Demon. Fighting this boss, with my low damage, really makes this a challenge. My main problem in this fight was the boss pushing me into the lava. This does massive damage. It drained all my Estus. At the end of the fight, I was using humanity to get me through this fight. With some luck on my side, I defeated the demon on my first try. Fuck you! There you go. Suck it. Sanity piece of shit. Next up we have the Bed of Chaos. This fight was surprisingly easy. Getting dunked once, on my second attempt, I collected my second Lord Soul. I am gonna be honest, I was scared of things to come. Nido, 4 Kings, and the remaining DLC bosses. Knowing 4 Kings to be the impossible fight in this challenge run, and Nido being my least favorite boss in the game, I decided to go for the DLC and fight Knight Artorias. God. I died a good few times to this boss, getting close to killing him numerous times. Defeated and tired, I went to bed and gave it another try the next day. The next day I felt good and happy. So happy in fact, that instead of killing Artorias, I went down to the Tomb of the Giants, picked up the Skull Lantern, and made my way to Nido. My most hated fight. I was scared. The skeletons chipping away my health, Nido being able to inflict toxic, there was no way this fight could go well, right? But yet, a miracle struck. After a 22-minute brawl with the Lord of the Dead, I defeated Nido. There you go, I got him. First try. With some help of some humanities, of course. But first try. Rattle me bones. With Nido gone, it was time for Artorias. This fight, unlike many other bosses, was a test of patience, persistence, and near perfect execution. It almost felt like a dance. A few tries getting very close, I could taste victory. And I went in for the kill. After doing the roly-poly for 21 minutes, I took the crown as the better dancer. Sit the fuck down. Whew. Oh, that feels good. Next on my list was Calamite. I made my way through the township, I killed the mimic, and grabbed the key. I ran some more to grab myself the bonfire for Manus later, and asked the giant to shoot the big bad dragon out of the sky. Time for Calamite. This fight wasn't that bad, to be honest. It took a very long time to chip away his health bar, but luckily there was a trick. If you hug the dragon's right side, you can lock him in turning towards you. With this, I could effectively make the boss do nothing at all. He did break out of this from time to time, but after a long and slow 26 minutes of rolling into his back leg, the black dragon took its last breath. Oh! I fucking did it! Oh! Thank fucking God. Now, it was time for Manus. At first, I thought this was gonna be impossible. I died many times. I was thinking of giving up, but I knew it would be possible. With every attempt, his health bar went down just a little more. I just needed the perfect attempt. And after 3 hours of attempts, I got the perfect attempt. "512 rolls, and a staggering 45 minutes later, I defeated the Father of the Abyss. I fucking did it! Oh! Oh my God, I fucking did it. Only 2 bosses left. 4 Kings and Gwyn. Before I started this run, I heard the horror stories. The 4 Kings being the run killer, near impossible to beat. And I can confirm that after an hour and a half of attempts, this was my best run. I think it's a puzzle. There was indeed no way for me to beat the 4 Kings. So I grabbed my axe, and after some upgrading, the 4 Kings were no more. Then, disaster struck. Gwyn, the final boss of the game, proved to be impossible for me. Gwyn is relentless. He will not give you enough time to heal if you get hit. The only way I found out to effectively heal in this fight was to parry him. But here's the problem. I suck at parrying. After many hours of attempts, this was my best attempt. I was defeated, tired, and I gave up. Maybe, just maybe, with many more hours of attempts, I could have done it. But it felt impossible for me, so I grabbed my axe again, and I gave Gwyn the beating he deserved. It was finally over. A sour end to an otherwise great run. Yet I still feel a sense of joy and accomplishment, cause besides the 4 kings and Gwyn, every boss had been defeated with the Armor of Thorns. I want to thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you like the content in general, consider hitting the subscribe button for more upcoming videos. Any support is greatly appreciated. Elden Ring is only 30 days away from the time of uploading this video, and I can't wait to play it and share my first experience on this channel and on my Twitch. The link for my Twitch channel will be in the description. Again, thank you very much for watching this video, and stay safe.